Ari buried her face in her hands and said, "Oh my God." Hey my beautiful peeps, if you're new here, my name is Char and welcome to Char TV. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a recap on 90 Day Fiancé episode 12. It is called Different Expectations. And of course, I'll be focusing on the couples that I usually do because ain't nobody got time to be recapping the whole show for this dry season. I'll be starting with Jibri and Miona. Today, Jibri and his grandma are going on a hike. And especially since him and Miona are not on speaking terms. His grandma asked him if he still wants to get married and he says that he doesn't know. She tells him that she struggles to see joy between the two of them. She's concerned because she wants to see him in love and she doesn't see that spark that's within him. So all of that does worry her.
I do love Miona. That's not a question for me. It's just getting on the same page. I need somebody who can be this wild, imaginative entrepreneur, which is when I met her grandma, she was doing that. She already had 30,000 followers in her little small town. She knew how to take pictures. I love the way that she marketed for herself and the clothes she wore. And she spoke Serbian. She spoke English. She speaks Russian. She speaks Spanish like fluently.
Jibri said that she has all of the qualities and he does see the potential in her. And he feels that they'll be able to create an amazing life together. And he also mentioned that he feels like he's put his own dreams aside for the sake of the relationship. And he wants to be married to the music and the art, as those two things are very important to him. When he's not performing or working on music, it's really hard for Jibri to be happy. And he definitely hasn't thought about this in the last 90 days.
You say you want to marry the music and you want to marry the art.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's in her to give you the space to do that?
I have to have that conversation. I've never had that conversation with her.
You got to have that talk because you're not going to be a happy man, I don't think, if you don't have that space to create.
Yeah.
Don't just go with the flow and not take care of your own aspirations in the process.
Right. Just decide, make a choice.
Grandma says that he's gonna need to be clear to Miona that if they're going to get married, then this is what he needs to do in order to be successful. She then said that if they were to get married, how would he feel if she were to officiate the wedding? Because then she's gonna be there for sure. Jibri's face lit right up and said that will be pretty dope. And honestly, that is the biggest that I've seen him smile in a long time. I just love his grandma. The next day or days later, Jibri and Miona head out for a sweet treat. He tells her that he had a chat with his grandma and that she has some concerns.
She noticed that we're always together. Do you agree with that? We're always up upon each other. That's
We talk a lot, yeah.
Okay. So I want a lifestyle where we're able to give each other space and we're not always all up on each other. You give me space and I give you space when you need it and we respect that. So if I'm in the studio in LA and I gotta be there for a 12 hours straight, you're gonna have to figure out what you're doing.
He begged her to not be a distraction to him. If anything, she should be helping him to stay focused. If they can't be on the same page, then things are not gonna work between them. It's like they're setting themselves up for disaster. Miona is willing to give Jibri's proposal a shot. Wow, that is shocking. He then asked her how she feels about the wedding. She explains to him that she's going back and forth with the wedding and that she should be patient like he always tells her to and do the beach wedding later.
But I don't want to still compromise on getting married here.
Hey, you're so stubborn, Mimi. You're stubborn.
There is options in California. We can do elopement. California elopement. Nice weather, not buffaloes and snow.
When have you ever compromised with me?
Jibri says he don't want no spoiled princess. He wants a queen. And Miona said, well, give me a queen wedding. Well, if that's the case, I hope y'all have king and queen money for it then. Again, she went on with it's her wedding and Jibri shut that right down and said stop with the my wedding, and she corrected herself and said that it's our wedding. And that is everything between Jibri and Miona. On to Eve and Mohamed. Eve and Mohamed have been arguing quite a bit and she wants to keep that away from Farron. So they've decided to take him to ninja class so that he can just have some fun and enjoy. And because she also wants to expose Mohamed to something that Theron loves and enjoys.
Go, 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 get your rope. Nice, good job.
Come on,
There you go. Nice. And then right across here.
Theron, he absolutely loves parkour and he loves the ninja gym.
And definitely.
Oh, good job.
Seeing how Mohamed interacts with Theron just makes Eve's heart melt. Despite all that though, there's still significant things that they need to discuss pertaining to the wedding. On the way home, Eve explained to Mohamed that they're gonna need to push the wedding back a month because the venue that she really liked didn't quite pan out. Mohamed wasn't too happy to hear about that because where they get married is not a concern, but it is one for Eve because she doesn't plan on getting married more than once. He said to her, why can't they just get married in the backyard? And of course, Eve did not agree with that. He's not feeling good about this because he really wants to be able to work. And the paperwork is gonna take some time to be processed after he's applied.
Thing is, if my mom already counted the days till I go back visit her, and I can't leave without my green card, as you know. We need to get married first, so we can apply for my adjustment of status, and then green card. So if pushing the wedding couple weeks, that will affect me seeing my family. That's very frustrated to me.
Eve explained that he's gonna need to be a little bit more understanding because there are things that happen that are beyond her control. And he said to her, well, maybe you just don't want to get married and she should let him know. And she said, well, if you're gonna act like that, well then perhaps I should think about it. And Mohamed said, yeah, so that he can start packing his bags. My guy, you should have packed your bags a long time ago. Eve thought that was really rude of him to say, and he said, well, they only have 90 days and they're cutting it kind of close, and why can't they just get married at a courthouse and then file for the paperwork?
I wish that you could just take into consideration, like, like I want this to be special. I waited. I didn't even think I was gonna get married.
I didn't come to the United States to stay home. If she doesn't want to file this paperwork, why she bring me here? Like, I don't understand.
Eve doesn't think that he understands that this is very special to her because it's once in a lifetime. And she's also waited a very long time for this moment. She never thought that she would be married, so this is a big deal for her. She doesn't feel that he cares about that and only cares about the paperwork being done. It's a new day and Mohamed is going to head to the coffee shop so that he can chat with his friend Rafay. And remember, Rafay is the president of the mosque that Eve had taken him to. He wants to talk to him about things since things aren't going too well between him and Eve. He tells Rafay that he's home a lot because he's taking care of Theron, so he doesn't get to go outside too much. And then Rafay asked him if there's any news on him being able to work.
Hey,
What do you mean nothing?
like,
Nobody's helping you?
nobody is helping me.
What about Eve? Isn't she?
No one still.
Oh, goodness.
Till now.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
Is there something keeping her away from these things? Or?
The wedding. The wedding is the most important thing in her life right now.
Oh, it's a
Important
big
to
day.
her. And I wanted to enjoy this day with her as well.
It's more important to Mohamed if they get married sooner so that he can file his paperwork, especially with things being backed up and he'll already be waiting 6 months without being able to work. He feels that sometimes people are selfish and it's almost like Eve is holding the paperwork over his head. He explains to Rafay that he has dreams and feels that he's responsible for his family back in Egypt. The only thing that makes him feel better is to take care of his mother.
Mohamed, I hate to ask this, but what if things don't really work out with you and Eve? What would you do?
I really don't know. Like, you know, and maybe I can plan to have another sponsor.
Oh boy, another sponsor means another wife?
No,
Is there somebody that you know that can be another sponsor for you?
no. It's just an idea.
Right. But it'll help you move things along quicker. You know, if somebody else can jump in, if she's under pressure and she can't do it.
Mohamed wants to be in the US and has sacrificed not being with his family. So if Eve is not going to understand and not help him, then things will not work out between them. And that is everything between Eve and Mohamed. On to Ariela Biniyam. Today is wedding dress shopping with Leandro. Bini doesn't understand why he has to come because he feels that he doesn't know anything about fashion and looks like a nerd. So he doesn't understand why Ari chose him to help pick out a dress. Nor do I, to be quite honest. Bini isn't happy that Leandro is spending time with Ari because he does not trust him, but there's nothing that he can do about it. Bini shouts out to Ari if she's okay because she's been in the bathroom for a long time.
Yeah, I'm okay. Kind of.
What is going on? Are you ready for dress shopping?
Honestly, I'm not really feeling well. I don't wanna go.
You know, I leave tonight, so are you sure you don't want to go today dress shopping?
I'm just really not feeling up to it.
She said that she feels weird. She doesn't feel herself and she feels a little bit sick to her stomach. Leandro said that he's gonna ask her a question. It may seem intrusive, but when was the last time she got her period? Sir, that is none of your business. Ari buried her face in her hands and said, "Oh my God." Leandro then said, "Well, are you guys trying to have a baby?"
I'm not. I don't want talking about like this, like private, like
Okay.
not like for this one.
Not
but,
my place
like,
to.
Leandro, he's asking me like weird question. He want to be like a doctor, but it's not his business for asking me this question.
Yeah, you're damn right it's not your place, Leandro. He is too up in their business. Ari said that she can't be pregnant and isn't ready to have another baby. Bini suggested that he can go get a pregnancy test for her, but then she said, well, you can't drive. So Leandro offered to go to the pharmacy with Bini so that they could buy a pregnancy test. This is so weird to me. Gosh, imagine how Bini is feeling. While on the way to the pharmacy, Leandro asked Bini if he's nervous, and he said no, because he loves babies. And then he asked him how many kids he'd like to have, and Bini said 10 would make him happy.
I don't think Ari wants 10 babies.
I think you don't know her. Maybe it was you, like before when he with you, maybe she doesn't think about us, baby.
It's true that the relationship is different.
Yeah.
But I don't think she wants to have 10 babies. We can ask her.
Back from the pharmacy, Leandro explains that he had an interesting conversation in the car and wants to ask her something. He then said to her, well, how does she feel about having more babies? How many babies would she like to have? Ari said maybe in the future, maybe one more. Leandro said that he heard that there was an interest in having many more. And she said, well, how many more are we talking? Bini said that he wants 10.
I tell you, Benny, one more. That's what she said.
Looks like my ex-husband knows me better than my future husband. I'm just kidding.
Like he stayed with you like 10 years, like I'm just like 3 years. Like for example, just you both of you, like you don't have feeling for before, like for baby. Me, right away, just every time when I do that, I need family, I need baby.
I don't like when she does stuff like that. You know, she shoots down Bini in front of her ex. You know what I mean? Ari takes the test and it's negative. Now she's relieved. Bini, on the other hand, looks disappointed. Leandro is relieved that Ari isn't pregnant because they're not financially stable yet. And he also feels that they need to communicate better and listen to one another before they have another baby. With all that being said, it's time for Leandro to leave. They say their goodbyes and off he goes. Good. The next day, Ari and Bini are off to have breakfast together to have some much needed alone time. She asks him how he's feeling and if he still feels uncomfortable. He said, well, everyone in the family likes Leandro, herself included, but he doesn't like him. Ari feels like it's not that he doesn't like him, it's that he doesn't know him. She feels that they should become friends, and Bini was like, I don't think so. He feels that it's very disrespectful that Leandro is involved in their relationship, and he's spoken to Ari about it many times, but she doesn't understand and she doesn't listen. And this doesn't make Binny happy.
Are you happy you're not pregnant?
Extremely, extremely so happy.
Extremely, I'm so mad you're not pregnant.
Why? We don't have any money for another kid. Baby.
Ari said to him, well, you already have 2 kids, and he says he knows, but even if he had 10, he'd be happy. And she said, well, she can't do 10 kids, and he said she can. Yeah, Binny, it may be easy for you to say that because you're not the one that's pushing them out. Ari says that they want different things. He wants more kids, she doesn't. She doesn't get along with his family, and he has issues with Leandro being around. Sometimes she thinks that they're so different that it may be hard for them to stay together. Binny said okay and that he doesn't want to stress, but Ari doesn't feel that this can be the answer whenever they have a discussion. They have to be able to communicate with each other to resolve the issue. It's hard right now because they only have 90 days to get married and to keep their family together. But both are not excited to get married right now, especially with how things are. Based on the past 60 days, there's no indication that they'll make a significant change before time runs out. And that is everything between Ari and Biniyam. And that concludes my recap. I hope that you enjoyed it. As for Jibri and Miona, I do agree with him that sometimes a little space is needed between them. But I can imagine at the same time it's hard because she's in a new country, she doesn't know anybody, so that could be difficult. And here we go about the beach wedding again. My goodness, I am glad that he shut her down with it's my wedding, because it's their wedding. It's both their special day. And she needs to learn to make it about both of them and not just herself. As for Ari and Biniyam, listen, the ex is too involved in their relationship. I'm not a fan of her dissing Binny in front of him as well. That ain't cool. You don't do that. And he doesn't need to know about if they want more kids and when is her period coming and all that. That is none of his business, and she shouldn't allow that. I mean, she should be shutting that down, especially as she knows that it makes Binny uncomfortable to even have him around. As for even Mohamed, well, he's starting to sound a little sus, like he only wants to be with her for a green card. But at the same time, I can just imagine it's hard to not be able to work and you want to make your own money so that he can support the household that he's living in and as well help his family back home. But let me know your thoughts on the episode. Drop your comments down below. I'd like to see it. And if you enjoyed my recap, give me a thumbs up. I'd like to see that too. If you haven't subscribed, well, you need to hit that red button and don't forget to turn your notifications on so that you don't miss any of my videos. Thanks for watching, my beautiful peeps, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!